here's how to make these Palestine flag bracelets. You're going to need 9 strands of red thread at 100 centimeters, and then 3 strands of the other colors at 100 centimeters as well. And then I just tie a knot with all the strings together, and at the end I make some twisted ties as I am showing you here, just to be able to tie the bracelet with. Now to start off the bracelet, you want to separate your strings into 9, so 9 on the right side, 9 on the left side. On the left I have my red, so 8 reds and 1 black, and everything else goes on the other side. Now you're going to start off with a forward-backward knot between all the strings with one of the black strands, and then with that same black one, you're going to go over the 8 strands of red that are on your left in a forward-backward knot. Now you're going to take out one of the red strings from your bunch, and now you're going to do a forward-backward knot on the 7 remaining red strings. And now you're going to keep taking out a red string and doing the same forward-backward knot with the black string all the way up until you reach the last 2, where you're going to do your last forward-backward knot. It should look like this. Now on the right side, I'm going to take one of my black strings and I'm going to tie it in a forward-backward knot on the remaining 8 strings that are also on the right. Then you're going to complete 6 backward knots across the red strings that you have. Once you've completed your 6, it should look like this. Now we'll do the same thing again with the remaining black string. So we're going to take it and do a forward-backward knot on the strings to the right of our bracelet. And this time we're going to do only 5 backwards knots on the red strings. And now it should look like this. Now we're going to repeat the same thing but with a white. So I'm taking one of the white strings and I'm doing a forward-backward across all these strings on my right side. And I'll do 4 backward knots this time. Then I'm doing the same thing with another white. I'm doing a forward-backward on all the strings to the right, and then I'm just doing 3 backward knots. Now we're going to start doing the red part of our flag. So I'm going to take the red string that's right next to the white that I finished, so the red string that is to the left of my white, and I'm just going to do a forward knot on top of my white with it. Now we're going to go back to our last white string and do a forward-backward knot on the remaining strings. and we'll do 4 backward knots on all the reds that are next to it. Now we go back to do the second row of reds. So I'm just taking the red that is next to my white, and I'm doing 3 forward knots across all the whites. We're gonna start with the green rows. So I'm gonna take a green from my right bundle of strings, and I'm doing a forward backward knot on the remaining strings, and I'll do 5 knots, backward knots across all the reds. Now we go back to doing our third row of red. So again, I'm just taking my closest red to the center, and I'm doing 5 forward knots, and then we go back to the green again and do the same thing. So I'm doing a forward backward knot, and this time I'm gonna do 6 backward knots. We'll do another row of red. So again, we're going to take 1 reds, and this time we're going to do one of the reds they're right next to each other, so you could choose whichever red you want, and you'll do 7 forward knots. Now we're going to end off our diamond, and we'll do that by taking our last remaining green string, and we'll do just a forward knot on top of the red that is to the right of it. Now I'm going to grab the next red in line, and I'm going to tie a knot on top of both of these strings together. It's going to be a backward forward knot. And you're going to continue doing this with all the remaining strings on this side. So you'll combine 1 more red string, and you'll do another backward forward knot on top of all of them. Now as you do this, you might see that there are some strings kind of peeking out, that it's not getting tightened well, and that's okay. You can continue to do it and have these gaps remaining, and just at the end you'll just pull on each of the red strings separately, and that will close the gap. Now we have half our diamond done, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side by taking our red string, and now we're going to do a backward knot on top of the black. And then we're going to combine the next string in line with our previous one, and we'll tie a knot on top of both of them. It's going to be a forward backward knot on top of both strings. And we'll continue doing this down the line. So I'm going to combine the next string in line and do the same thing, forward backward knots all the way to the end, and then I'm just going to pull on each string separately to tighten it again. And now our flag is almost all done. I'm just going to take the red string and wrap it around all my strings together in a forward backward knot, and that completes the diamond. You can repeat this pattern over and over to complete your bracelet. And if you want to see how I make it face the other direction as you see in this bracelet, you can check out part 2.